Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Mr. Doni and other happy friends. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Ulhaq Nurfadila, who will serve as a moderator in the discussion of teaching and listening methodology. The other members of my group are Aldan Hekmatiar and Jafar Mualim. Alright friends, let's just start with the presentation session, with myself reading the first material. In the methodology material there are several stages, namely teaching approach, teaching method, teaching technique, teaching strategy, and teaching tactics. Methodology. A definition of methodology can be confusing. The word methodology is frequently used when method would be more accurate. Methodology refers to more than a simple set of methods. It is the rational and the philosophical assumption that underlie a particular study. It indicates the theoretical analysis of the method in language teaching. Methodology means the study of pedagogical practice in general, including theoretical implication and related research. It includes what is involved in how to teach. Teaching approach. Approach gives the overall wisdom, it provides direction and sets expectation to the entire spectrum of the teaching process. Furthermore, approach sets the general rule of general principle to make learning possible. Anthony 1963 stated that an approach is a set of correlative assumptions dealing with the nature of language teaching and learning. An approach is axiomatic. It describes the nature of the subject matter to be taught, or a set of the true design related to the language teaching and learning. Number 1. Communication Nature Approach. Approach is similar to natural method, but natural approach is emphasizing on input rather than practice. The step of learning language is listening, speaking, and written form. The goal of learning foreign language is language acquisition as a way of learning the language in unconscious process. The learners have to be able to use language meaningful communication. It has been discussed in Chapter 5, Theory of Learning. Number 2. Structural Approach. The mastery of sentence structure is considered to be more within the acquisition of vocabulary. In structural, content words are also taught. The selection of content words are directed by their usefulness, simplicity, and teachability. An appropriate situation should be created to practice the structure and to relate its meaning and to build up a vocabulary of content word. Even structure is separately taught. The term is printed in appropriate situation by the teaching. Number 3. Humanistic Approach. It is an approach belief that human relationship and interhumanistic perspective are shared. People seek value, meaning, and creativity in all they do. It understands that people action are of paramount importance. Indonesia has applied humanistic approach to curriculum 2013 that emphasizes 4 main points. First, students must be responsible for spiritual aspect and to be good behavior in social aspect. Second, coherence between main core competence and basic competence. Thus, teachers focus on their competence or professionalism and ability while they still show their good characteristic as a professional teacher during teaching and learning process. Third, to make teachers are more creativity because they can be flexible to develop teaching method and teaching material. The fourth, taxonomy is applied in all levels education in order to get target of learning process. Taxonomy had been described in Chapter 6, which adopt from Bloom. Number 4. Situational or holistic approach. It means a complete and vast understanding of all the aspects of our life and way of living. It covers everything that enables us to live healthy and happy. A holistic approach in learning and teaching is about helping a children learn the purpose of why something needs to be learned, what is they are learning, how it's going to be used in real life, how it's connected to the learner's life. Such learning approach involves the all sense. It must more than just memorizing and writing about something. It's more about connecting the concept to the real life of a learner.
Okay, thank you. I will continue the presentation, and next material is teaching method. Anthony in 1064 said that a method is an overall plan for the orderly presentation of language material, no part of which contradicts and all of which is based upon the selected approach. An approach is axiomatic. A method is procedural. Within one approach, there can be method. And method is an organized, orderly, systematic, and well-planned procedure aimed facilitating and ensuring student learning. It is undertaken according to some rule, which is usually psychological in nature. It considers primarily the abilities, needs, and interests of the learner. Method is employed to achieve certain specific aim of instruction. To make it an effective instrument, it should be present with certain amount of efficiency and ease. To prove that teaching method is good and effective, the following characteristic will tell if it's so. Good method recognizes individually difference, if it provides students learning, if it facilitates growth and development, if it achieves the desired result of the teacher as they reflect in her or his instructional object. And the next material is teaching technique. A technique is an implementation that which actually takes place in a classroom. It is particular trick, stratagem of contrivance used to accomplish an immediate objective. Techniques must be consistent with the method and therefore in harmony with an approach as well as the level at which classroom procedures are described. In other words, approach is the level at which assumption and belief about language and language learning are specific. Method is the level at which theory is put into practice and which choices are made about the particular skill to be taught, the content to be taught, and the order in which the content will be presented. The technique. Technique is also the procedural variation of a method. Technique encompasses the personal style of the teacher in carrying out specific steps of teaching process. Through technique, teachers enable to develop, create, and implement using her or his distinctive way the procedure method of teaching. And the next material will be continued Jafar Mualim.
Okay guys, then the last material that will be explained by me. My name is Jafar Mualim, and the material 2 is about teaching strategy and teaching tactics. Teaching strategy. In due time, educators and writers started using the terms teaching strategy, but reference method, and the procedures utilized in teaching. The terms of strategy is derived from the Greek word is strategos, literally translated as the art of the general, as a military terms. It appeared in the literature in the latter part of the 18th century, referring to larger aspect of conducting work. Teaching tactics. The word tactics comes from the ancient Greek, is tactikos, which loosely translates to art of ordering or arranging. The terms denote action towards as a goal. Jason 1990, defining tactics is a skillful use of available means to achieve an objective. It is the condition of necessary for effective strategy. One could argue that when talking about the learner's ability to develop individual learning strategies, educational authorities often refers to practice that correspond to the result society wants in return for investing in the education system. In other words, they want learners to develop learning technique in correspondence with the education system. When seeking opportunities within the system, the learners behave tactically and development techniques in correspondence to their self-interest. The following terminology I would like to distinguish between strategy and tactics in education and learning. Educational strategies are manifest through a system of national plans for education, curriculum, routines for evolution, financial means, and each other. On the other hand, learning tactics are learners' individual adaptations may differ significantly from behavior society, and educators try to encourage through their strategies.